Welcome to the Wicked Radio Network.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
It's wonderful to see you again, Professor.
Firestar, over here.
Coming, Cyclops.
This is our other new member, Wolverine.
How you doing? Want a piece of fruit?
Recorded to you live from the corner of Birch Street and Higgins Drive. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast. Woo-wee! Hey kids, we're back! I'm your host, Bill Schafferger. I got a team. I've assembled them. I've picked them. I've chosen them. Why? I'm not sure. They might have just been standing around. But I got Dom.
What's going on, people?
I got my brother Bob.
Hello, hello.
And I got Ed again.
Hey! Ed again.
Again. Just can't get rid of this guy.
No.
He just keeps coming back.
Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving.
I may a happy Thanksgiving to all.
Yes.
And to all a good Thanksgiving.
I'm ready for Christmas now.
That's it. Just straight into the next one. That's it. Just rolling through. Just rolling through.
Just give me that.
Well, at least you stopped for Thanksgiving, because most people, if you look around, they went right from
Halloween now.
Halloween to
now it's Halloween
to Christmas.
That's it. We roll right past Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving don't even matter anymore. They're going to take that away soon, I think, the holiday and the vacation and all that.
Yeah.
Just you don't even
You're already doing the coordination with your siblings to try to figure out what you're getting your parents for Christmas. That's,
yeah. Well, that should always be going on.
You know what it is? All the
if you're a good kid, you're on top of that.
You know what the problem is? All the colored light combinations are already taken.
Oh, okay.
You can't come up with any new ones for Thanksgiving because that seasonal colors are already taken for Halloween.
Halloween, right.
So you can't get people to buy that kind of crap.
Well, here's the thing.
Then there's no reason to
once you got them up, you don't got to take them down.
Well, also the problem is you could swap out black for brown, but brown Christmas lights just look shitty.
Yeah, I don't even know if you. Good point.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. Oh, didn't catch that.
Have yourself
and that's why we keep
very
them around,
shitty
folks.
Christmas.
For the puns, folks. For the puns.
Mm.
So how's everybody been? Everybody all right? Everybody doing good? Team?
Yeah, I'm pretty good
Been
there.
all right.
Okay.
Been all right,
That's it. I don't care anymore after that.
I'm well rested
All right?
today. How about you?
I throw that out. I fake it. Yeah, I'm well rested.
Yeah.
I mean, I work today, but, I'm as good as can be.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of coffee in
Yeah,
me.
a full pot of coffee will do that to you.
I'm about ready to get my pop culture freak on.
Oh, shit.
I could agree with that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah?
Uh-oh.
Ed, are you going to take the fucking business cards and the stickers I gave you this time?
I will, I promise.
Because I wasn't going to ask you on mic, but you do have a top pocket on that shirt.
All right, fine. You want me to put them in the
I want to see you, and now we're documenting it. Now, when you leave, you can throw them out. Just don't throw them out in the parking lot, because I'll see them. You know what I mean? But just, stick them in your glove compartment and never see them again. So, what do we do here, guys? We do some stuff, right?
Yeah, we talk.
All right. So,
we talk about good stuff,
we talk about things, you know what I mean? Well, since you brought up Thanksgiving, what's funny is that during the week I saw, and I'll throw this out there to start us up, that comicbook.com had posted up this, hadn't seen it for years myself, but it was the 1987 Thanksgiving float that Marvel Comics had put out.
I saw that that link.
Yeah, so I shared it with the class.
I unfortunately saw it also.
Yeah, folks, go up.
I came across that ditty.
I debated on whether or not actually us live ripping it, but I just figured we would go on maybe too long.
Well,
also
wasn't that back in the days when they were like broke and desperate?
Yeah. Well, that's when they had the cartoon shows. They had Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, I think, on it at the time. And probably like the original Secret Wars figures, I want to say, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's 87, so it would have been like right around the time when the Secret Wars figures were at their height.
About that. It's that late 80s peak for them. You know what I mean? And then, but they actually weren't spending any money on that float, though.
But the thing is, like, you could tell someone wrote that. There was kind of a story behind it.
There was a whole fucking plan.
And there were a ton of like secondary characters on there. Like Spider-Man's not featured there, but you get
that's
Luke,
true.
you get Luke Cage, you get Doctor Strange.
Right. You get all these guys nobody would ever know.
Dr. Doom. Who was the female character in that?
Oh, that's the Enchantress.
Oh, it was
Right,
Enchantress.
'cause when,
Okay.
you
I
know-
couldn't tell
No,
because
'cause,
it's just the shitty
everybody
quality
knows
and
the
she's-
Enchantress.
Exactly what I was going to say. When you want to go cross over exposure and
Really.
let people know, you're females.
Exactly.
But it is goofy as hell.
Yeah,
I mean, it was bad then.
It was the
You
theme.
can't even blame it on being dated.
You had the theme music from Back to the Future playing.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Bro,
Yeah.
that was driving me crazy. I'm sitting there going, what is this from? What is this from? And I thought it was like,
Dun, dun. I can't do any more for
Oh,
copyright reasons.
yeah. Bob will do it all, get us
All
all
right,
sued.
that's all right.
And shit, Bobby don't give a fuck. He's like, yeah, it's your show. It's your name on it. I mean, whatever, suddenly. But, yeah, I'm sitting there like, where is this from? And I started to think, well, maybe it's like some incidental music from
No.
Spider-Man's Amazing Friends or something. I should have recognized
That's
that.
Alan Silvestri, bitch.
Oh, Alan.
Bitch.
That's Mark Silvestri's cousin. Did you know that?
Really?
No, not true. But
Hey,
I
we
like to
got
think
any,
that sometimes when I see the name.
We got any Ed mails?
We do have some med mails.
Well, just one quick thing I want to say about that float.
Okay, you want to close it up?
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
I think, you know,
Because I had some stuff too.
the
man.
hard
It's hard to watch,
the
but I
hard
like making
work
fun of it. Yeah.
that our kind has done, that we've, you know, that the masses out there have done to bring geek culture to the forefront.
Can we define our kind?
Yeah. Because I was stuck on that a little bit too.
Nerds, geeks in general.
Okay, very good.
That's
very
fine.
good, very
That's
good.
fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
That's okay.
yeah.
That's okay.
You know,
Sure.
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
to see where Marvel is now, and the way people used to make fun of us
this
for
is
reading
why.
comic books. That's
exactly
that
it.
right there. That's why.
Ladies and gentlemen, Exhibit A.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it comes down to, or Exhibit M for Marvel and moronic. But just the best part, the craziest part about that whole thing is it's the size of a fucking car. It's got like the footprint of basically maybe two cars put together, and they built this giant thing that they're all kind of running in and out and chasing each other, very Scooby-Doo like. Where it's all, you know, come out this door and I go in that door and I come out this door that's a half a foot away from the other door.
And
it's like,
you know what? If you're
Oh, it's so
watching
rough.
that live as it's moving on New York City street,
Oh, it's
it
cool as
probably
fuck.
looks okay.
Yeah, and it's
but
good.
when you
Yeah.
see it close up on TV
they
and
stop
you see
the
that
float, they do the full presentation.
that all the dialogue is pre-recorded, the actors aren't acting at all; they're just kind of trying to hit their marks.
Yeah, it's all about cues. And the best is the guy in the big Hulk suit at the end, who's kind of supposed to take a fall, but everybody has to catch him because safety first. You know what I mean? Basically, and it's all. I think that's the moral of the story is that the good guys, and the bad guys come together as one.
Right.
You know, to save the big guy.
Yeah, it's,
Like, you know
it's
what I
a
mean?
trustful. We did that in Boy Scouts.
Right, it's
Go,
great.
Joe.
All right, there you go. That wraps up the 80s talk. So, I don't know. That was just because we were talking about Thanksgiving stuff. So, before we get to emails, I do want to point out one thing. That it's kind of became a thing. I overplayed it in a private conversation between Agent Palmer and Steph because I was like, I got a thing I keep meaning to mention on the show that I haven't gotten to, and it's like, what is it? I'm like, it's not a big thing. Don't blow it up. And so that's exactly what happened.
Of
Like,
course.
three more times, and now
This
it's
is
like,
what you do.
What is this thing you want us to say? And it's not that big a deal. I was just kind of noticed that, like, Steph was getting like not just a shout out, but she was getting the plug, like, you know what I mean? So I realized I really wasn't giving Palmer a plug, which is not much different. It's agentpalmer.com for his blog. So it was just something that I noticed in my head.
Does
And
Agent Palmer host a podcast?
No, he does not. But, he's always kind of thinking that maybe, perhaps one day, like that. That's basically the whole run of his process
Gotcha.
on that. So, but the thing is that it was turned into one of these little stupid things. So Agent Palmer's got a blog. He writes up about a lot of nerdy stuff. And Steph's got a blog, too, in addition to the podcast, from brain to keyboard.blogspot.com. So I just wanted to put that out there because I built it up too much on the personal conversation. It was like, all right, I'll just mention it.
You
for a
could have
minute.
just told him I wanted to plug you.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't even that. It was like I kept on meaning to.
Hey, Palmer, I want to plug you.
I mean, if you know Agent Palmer's got a website, it's just agentpalmer.com, then fine, then it's no big deal. But,
Damn you, Bob.
You were laughing before I said anything.
it was so corny, I was trying to ignore that it had happened.
I didn't even hear it.
And Dom's not even here right now.
All right.
Hear it.
He already went home.
Can I get some Ed Mail music?
You can get some Ed Mail. Maybe we'll get a little jingle going for that. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. Yeah, that works.
That works.
All right.
You know what I like about it the most?
What's that?
The familiarity.
Gotcha. All right. So here's a question. We're talking about throwbacks. Here's the first question. Gentlemen, Did any of you ever read Wizard magazine?
No.
It's a big old yeah.
Yeah.
A big old hell yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know how deep that runs with me? I have.
You want to explain to the listeners who might not know what Wizard is?
Thank God Ed's here to remind me how to do a show. So Wizard magazine, back in the roaring 90s of comic book oversaturation, was just like a trade magazine. Well, not so much trade, but like industry magazine, where it's like a lot of interviews with creators and a little bit of a hype machine kind of a thing, kind of a magazine. Always talking about what's the coolest thing of all the cool things that we can make look even cooler. You know what I mean? And so during the Image days, the launching of the Image days, all that time. And Wizard, to a certain degree, still kind of exists because I think that's like the Wizard World Con.
Yeah, they still host conventions.
I think they've, the guy who created it all, Seamus, or whatever his name is, I think sold it all off by now and all that. He's not attached to it. But my point being that, so that was a magazine that came out monthly and, just hyped the shit out of all the stuff that was already hyped to death during the super hype hurricane of the 90s in comics.
I remember picking it. It was the first time you could actually see like pictures of what
I can go get one right
like.
now. Yeah. Actually, I know exactly where one is sitting because I was going through some old shit not that long ago, and I think it's like either 4 or 14.
But if
you want to regale,
but it was like just comic books.
Yeah,
like,
it was
like Sports Illustrated for kids, but instead of sports, it was comics.
Basically, you know what I mean. And they also put in the price guide. Like the biggest books. That wasn't like everything, but every month, I had the price guide in there. But keep in mind, I also in 6th grade back in those days was getting Comics Buyer's Guide in the mail. I was getting that weekly, a weekly nerd newspaper basically, and actually had to use it, bring it to school to defend myself because I told everybody that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman, and nobody fucking believed me. Really? So I was like, all right. Because back then, news didn't travel like it does now. Like everybody knows everything now. Back then it was just like, oh, you would hear about like movies happening, maybe like it didn't trickle through. Like especially as a kid, as a kid who was reading the newspaper, even if it made into the newspaper,
you didn't really know until you got a trailer, and even then you had to go see the movie to see the trailer.
Or I had to be like watching Entertainment Tonight, and they happened to do a feature on that. Like that news tidbit. So anyway, I had to bring it in the next day, and then everybody believed me. But then also I had to fight them all off of them being like, "Oh my god, that's the worst idea ever." You know what I mean?
So I just googled Wizard magazine.
Okay.
And like one of the first hits was on eBay. Someone has
Bill Sweeney has them all.
Frank Miller Wizard magazine number 31 cover and poster, original art, 1993, Sin City, $8,500.
I believe there was a Sin City story that premiered in that issue.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Don't make me shit my pants right now, Dominic.
Why would you shit your pants?
I don't know, because I probably cut that thing up. What is it? What?
No.
It's issue 31 cover and poster, original art from 1993, Frank Miller, Sin City.
Oh, it's the original art. That's not for the book. That's for the art that's used on the cover.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was maybe some
that's a little different.
I thought maybe some.
Dig a little deeper, Dom. See if there's that issue was worth anything.
Oh my God,
Bill might have it.
No. I don't even think people sell issues of it.
We just sent dozens of nerds hunting for long boxes.
They were like, "What are you saying?"
With their
all
hearts,
the things to
with
be
their
worth
hearts
something.
thumping in their chest like.
Could you imagine out of all of the '90s crap that got published, if an issue of Wizard magazine was the one thing that was like somehow worth something, and everybody would just threw those shits the fuck out? Like, I kept the card that came in the bag that it came in.
Actually, there's one issue.
Insert stuff.
There's one issue, one story I would like to find. It was probably somewhere in the summer of 2000. They did an issue of 99 superhero movies you could see soon. It was like, it was like about 100 different movies that were in different stages of development.
Yep.
And I remember reading that.
That's why I used to get Comic Scene magazine.
Yeah,
which was another one, but that was like a glossier magazine on the newsstands. You could find it, and I think the same people who did Starlog and a couple other. Real nerd magazines.
Yeah.
They put that out too. And that in the back of the magazine would have like 2 pages of just text, real small. Every comic book thing in development, rights exchanged, like what phase. So you would just kind of every month see, nope, Punisher still rights are at line gate, nothing happening. That was the only way to keep track of any of that.
So the next most expensive Wizard Comics magazine It goes for $59.95, and it's a 31 issue lot. Mostly sequential, plus 8 bonus comics for $59.95 and free shipping.
Well, here's what I used to do with my Wizard magazine, because I was really into drawing at the time. So I used to just, whatever the coolest shit was, I used to cut it up and I put it all in a scrapbook. I got 3 old school photo books, like, you know, with the clinging cellophane pages.
Yeah.
The Klingon pages. So I got 3 of those, like 3 binders of just fucking pages and pages of just like really cool, like, you know, artwork from the 90s and whatever they would put in that magazine too. And then also cut out the really obnoxious word bubbles they would put on like random things and a caption, something obnoxious. You know what I mean? I cut a bunch of those out and repositioned them. But so yeah, Wizard magazine kids.
Yeah, they did do a lot of posters in those things, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of actually,
like, and you'd get like from good artists.
From good artists, like not for nothing. Like I have a whole bunch of them saved now that you mention it, and usually 2 sides to it too. I used to have to fucking pick.
Thinking, what's his name? The dude,
Bisley or Fabry. No. If you saw it and was hanging up in my room, it was probably painted though.
One of the first guys you showed me who uses models and then paints over them, and then Mike.
Oh, Bradstreet.
No,
Tim Bradstreet.
I want to say Alan something.
Alex Ross.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, Alex Ross. Yeah, they loved Alex Ross. They did a lot of Alex Ross special issues too. Enough with that. Enough with the Wizard.
No, gentlemen,
sir.
What is the ugliest costume Spider-Man has ever worn?
What's he wearing right now? No, I don't know. That's a lot of choices right there.
That's why I asked the question. There's a lot out. There's got to be like one that's like, jeez.
It's probably one of those ones that he wore when he wasn't. I mean, does it count when he wasn't Spider-Man? You remember,
I'm talking like the Spider-Man costumes.
You know what's the chrome Spider-Man like ridged, like battle armor he had on at one point in the 90s. That was pretty.
Didn't he have an Arctic suit that was like all white or something?
Well, he definitely had all white. He definitely has had all white suits, especially when he was.
That would be pretty sad to me.
Yeah, I mean it's plain and basic, and it really wasn't so much that it was all white because of the Arctic. It wasn't like a G.I. Joe issue, but
I was going to say he'd have to move up to Buffalo to
really make the most out of that.
Yeah, really.
Then again, he's not really camouflaging too well in New York City. Although the red with the brick face, that might work. Maybe that's what he's going for. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's a lot of alleys. All right. Anything on over there? No. Okay.
No. I really can't think. Probably the.
What do you like? What do you?
Iron Spider is pretty ugly, man.
Which one is Iron? Oh, is that from like a Civil War?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is a pretty rough costume.
It's so ugly.
It is.
It's a cool idea, and
but the gold and the red, I feel like,
just looks so bad.
The red doesn't stand out enough against. Well, those 2 colors don't contrast enough where it's like you can really make out what's going on with the gold.
Gotcha.
You know, yeah, I like the big spider arms kind of a thing, maybe a little bit, but it's a hard read visually.
All right, now
okay. Oh, what? You got more?
Here's this one's pretty meaty. This will be the last one. I think we can get actually.
Okay.
Gentlemen,
sir,
who are these gentlemen you're asking this question? I've been going crazy with that one.
I'm just rolling with it at this point.
Would you rather see Ridley Scott's Alien Prometheus sequel or Neil Blomkamp's Alien sequel?
Oh man. Okay. Is this one of those?
Is there a third choice? Yeah. Of none?
Is there? Is this one of those like Nazis have your parents? You have to watch one of these 2. You know?
I mean,
sorry. When I was hardcore in the Aliens,
Ridley Scott.
But no. You know what? Like if you told me like. You know, I guess if you put it, you
Bill did go through his Geiger phase, though.
You know,
I definitely did.
Ridley Scott, he wants to make a sequel to Prometheus, which was titled Alien Paradise Lost and is now evidently titled Alien Covenant.
Oh, yeah. Alien movie
supposed to connect the dots between Prometheus and Alien, even though that's what Prometheus was supposed to do.
Right. There you go. Exactly. Well summed up right there, buddy. Because I got it. As soon as you said connect the dots, I'm like, instantly I thought, there's not going to be much more dot connecting, I bet. Like, you know, it's not going to get any clearer. You know what I mean? Unless they sat someone down and it was like Ripley's grandkid having someone map it out on a chalkboard.
That movie was supposed to tell us like where humanity came from, and they didn't answer that question.
I have a question for Ed.
Yeah?
Hit it.
Which one is going to suck less and explain more?
Okay. Well, see, here's the thing. We have a little bit to go off of with the Ridley Scott movie because we you know, Prometheus.
Right. It's his babies. You know, we should be getting the meat of it from him, you would think.
From all we can tell with the Neil Blomkamp movie, which has been pushed back again because they want to develop this Prometheus 2 first.
Right.
It basically that it was dead, it wasn't going to happen, and then Neil Blomkamp said, here's an Alien movie I was going to do. He released some some concept art online, and people went, "Oh my god, that's awesome!" and they put it back into development.
Right.
And it's supposed to deal more. I don't know if Ridley's involved, but it's more of like a direct sequel to what's going on to like that part of the universe. And I think you're going to see. I think visually,
holy
the
shit,
Blomkamp
Ed.
movie would have been.
That took a long fucking time, Ed. No,
So-
but I'm kidding.
Which one's gonna suck less and
It's true.
explain
It's
more?
true. But, what was that? Right. What was that question? So basically, what I'll say is your opinion is that, forced to pick, you would go with the Ridley one, right?
Probably.
Just
because
because
it's
it's
Ridley,
Ridley,
and it's like you got to give that the first go. I think
that's probably what I would do.
that's
too,
the fair
but-
shake. As much as I'm willing, I want to see Blomkamp. Blomkamp.
Because they're tight.
Neil Blomkamp,
Any man who
the
has a
District 9 guy.
Yeah, right. Johnny District 9.
Oh, so this would be Alien South Africa.
Once. So, yeah, as much as I want to see him play in the sandbox, you know what I mean? Because I do, but, you got to give it to the guy who fucking birthed it. You know what I mean? At least you got to give that guy the first swing. You got to give him the first chance to fuck it up. Which, as we all know, happens.
This is true.
Moving on.
That's what we need.
All right, so that's it. That's all we got from you, buddy. But you know what I got? I was having a conversation with Palmer on the phone because now what he likes to do, because that's just what he does, is he doesn't even fucking send emails anymore. He just fucking calls me now. Like the guy just fucking, just moved into my fucking life.
It's what happens when you make yourself accessible to people.
He's like, that's what I used to tell people all the time. He'd be like, hey, let me get your number. I'd be like, no, because then you're going to call me. So
I still don't have Sacco's
it
phone
kind of
number.
spirals out of the. I got that number. It kind of spirals out of the Thanksgiving thing. It was anybody have any kind of like horrible holiday specials like when they were growing up? Like that was like I don't know, like the worst. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of a rough setup now. It's
You
feeling
mean
funky.
like the Hallmark Channel?
Yeah, but what I mean is like
I
the
know
one
what
that you
you're
had to
getting at.
avoid.
I know what
like,
you're getting
you know
at
what I
for
mean? Like
sure.
I'm not sure if I'm dialing it in correctly verbally.
No. I know. I think.
Like you.
No, yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear what you're asking, but I would probably have to go with.
Like what's shit that you avoided, like the plague? Probably like maybe that's a good way.
Yeah, when I was.
Before you were interrupted.
No. Well, yeah. When I was younger, the Halloween Town movies on Disney Channel. You guys might not even know what those are.
I remember
They
those.
were really popular.
Okay.
And I just
It
could
sounds
not
familiar
stand
to
them
me.
at all.
Okay.
And like everyone my age is like just loves them, and it's like their childhood.
Right.
But I hated them. They were just horrible.
Even though at the time they were
extremely
all geared to your age.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was
So
just
you
like,
should have.
what is this?
You were like, this is crap. I hate this thing. So what was like the hook with that? Was that like a wannabe?
So it was like this single mother, 3 kids.
Shot on film? What's that? Is it film or animated?
No, they were TV movies.
Oh, they were TV movies
Oh,
on the
okay.
Disney Channel. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was 2 girls and a boy, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the mother of the children was secretly a witch, right?
Of course.
But hated it. Never wanted to.
It's such a burden.
Never wanted to use it at all. But
Right,
her
right.
mother, the children's grandmother,
Right.
lived in a secret town called Halloween Town.
Oh,
which
I
you
hate
took
it already.
Which you took a cheese bus to.
Literal cheese, or you just mean that in the popular euphemism for yellow
Yes,
school bus?
Yellow school bus. You
Gotcha.
took a yellow school bus to this alternate universe.
Sure, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It makes perfect sense.
It's a nice trip.
And the children in the first film, I think there's 3. They get on the bus with their grandma. They secretly go without the mom knowing.
It's a
of
revenge
course.
mission? Is it a revenge
No,
mission? Oh,
no,
okay.
just-
Okay.
And
that's the sequel.
No, it's like we want to know what our grandma's like.
exactly.
Right.
Oh.
And then they all get there, and then they find out that they too have special witch powers.
Thank God.
And then the rest is
And then they become
shitty
the
movie
witches of
history.
Waverly Place, right?
It's all the wackiness they get into.
It's a whole bunch of shitty Disney shenanigans.
Then they open up a deli, and they become the witches of Waverly Place, right? With Selena Gomez.
Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
Yeah.
Bob knows a little bit too much.
I actually
about
used to like
Disney.
that show when I was
That's
younger. Too,
sure, and I liked it too a little bit. No, I'm only kidding. never caught much of it. No of it though, because
Selena Gomez was in it.
somehow it all crosses over. So that was a little thing from Agent Palmer. I mean, for me, I really can't think of anything off the top of my
Charlie
head.
Brown, every single one. Sorry, I know everyone's probably gonna
Yeah,
hate
I
me
mean, it
for
was a
that, but I
short
hate Charlie
phase
Brown.
where like
Sorry.
I'd check him out, but
These things, you see them every year,
I like
year
the
after
Peanuts.
year, so you get tired of them.
yeah, you get just worn out. You just
If
get
I see
worn out.
Rudolph, I want to jump through the TV and strangle him.
Yeah.
No, I like the Christmas shit for the most part. I don't know. It's just something about
Rudolph
Christmas
stuck with me for a
but,
little bit. I think the Frosty the Snowman's because there's 2 of them. You
Right.
know, Because I just
which have nothing to do with each other.
Dope, I think is what it is. Hey everybody!
What's the one with Chris Kringle? The old one with Chris Kringle?
Is that the other one with the puppets?
Oh, yeah, no.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town.
That's
We
a
see young
classic.
Chris Kringle. He's got red hair, and he's walking around with the bag.
Oh, he's like a lumberjack
He's
looking
like 18,
guy?
he decides to be Santa Claus.
Yeah. Actually, you know who voiced Santa in that?
Hit me with it.
Mickey Rooney.
He's making shit up now.
No,
This
I
guy just
swear to God, it's
makes
Mickey
shit
Rooney.
up now.
I thought it was Mickey Rourke.
Look up.
See,
It's Mickey
now I
Rooney.
want to see that one.
I mean, even if Mickey Rourke had done it, he also would have done it between shots. But
Probably would have been the same grain alcohol. All right.
Yeah, but
Enough.
for me.
That's
Excuse me
the
while
one.
I light this
I'm
shot
kind
on
of a
fire.
Rankin Bass aficionado.
Okay. Okay.
I remember all those,
Claymation.
Like Rudolph.
yeah,
Right? 'Cause that's
Frosty's Winter Wonderland.
Sure.
Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. Come on.
The ballsiness of that one. You know,
That was just too much.
that was just too much, too unbelievable. That just went too far.
That was like their House of Frankenstein.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. It's like, I don't know who should be more mad at, Abbott and Costello or Frankenstein. All right, whose world gets more ruined? You know what I mean? All right, that's enough of that fucking shit. Silliness. Right, Dom?
Yeah. Definitely.
Silence fell over the crowd.
Yeah.
You guys think we need to bring the cuss bucket back?
Why? Was that fun? You think maybe I cursed too fucking much yet?
I've been listening to.
You feel left out?
I think both of us have been really kind of like hitting it.
Well,
like the last-
generally speaking, don't even register your curses. So
Really?
So you probably could tell me that you won, and I'd be like, yeah, I guess you did.
Actually, you know what? I find that when I like legitimately curse at someone and they're angry, they really pick up. They perk up and like
You get some
"Holy
attention,
Crap,
right?
Ed cursed at me.
Yeah. Because maybe it's a thing like I don't even pick up on it for some reason. I say, man, maybe there's a thing with you. With the cases. With the cases.
What's up next?
I don't know. You want to fucking do something? I don't know. You want to have a party or something? I don't know. What's up next? All right, we're out of the emails. Comics. We could talk some comics. Comics came out this week.
They did. They come out every week, Bill.
They do come out every week, but not every week.
Do you get to read them?
Do I get to read them? I don't know. Bob, I don't even know what he was there for.
Bob's making himself giggle over
I
there.
don't even know what was going on over there, but I feel left out now. But what I was going to say.
The fact that the Spider-Man jingle is like the
Official comics talk?
yeah, that just
Is that
makes me mad.
Is that not good?
Just
You want to switch it
angry.
up?
You want me to
switch
learn
it up?
Arrow or something?
No, not at all. It's not. It has nothing to do with that or you. I'm just saying it's just because it's like like when you think of comics, like you
Is
just
that
think of
too?
Spider-Man
Is that
jingle
too on the
immediately.
nose? Is that one of those things where it's too on the nose? It's like
Yeah, it's just like it kind of like that jingle.
Is
like,
as good as like them saying "pow bam biff" in an article?
Exactly.
Nah,
It
you want
summarizes like
something
the
more
public's
subtle.
relationship with
I
comics.
got you.
Something like that Walking Dead.
There we go.
And this is a cooler show. We should have something better than that, probably, right? I mean, All right, Bob. Dom said, "Get the fucking work and change."
That's not what I meant at all.
I'm only kidding. But now you made a valid point. Now when I want to change it. Okay. All right.
Fuck you very much, Tom.
Yeah. I'll give you 5 episodes to change it.
Okay.
I'm only kidding. I'll give you 3.
Yeah, so a couple of good comics came out this week,
Couple of
right?
good comics, man.
Yeah, there
It was a decent week, small week. Like for me, I didn't go super crazy.
No, I think I
And I don't think
clocked
you
in
did
with
either.
like 4 or 5 books this week.
That's it. But so more pound for pound, dollar for
Pound
dollar, whatever the old men say at the fishing pier, right?
Yeah, man.
All those old men phrases.
Yeah, so I a couple of standouts from this week were The Dark Knight 3 from DC Comics.
You may have heard of this company. You may have heard
Ed,
of this
I don't know
book,
if you've
The Dark
heard of them
Knight.
before, but it's called DC Comics. Stands for Detective
I am
Comics.
aware.
Okay.
It means damn comics.
Yeah.
So,
Dude.
So obviously,
I think we're the only two who read it here at the table.
yeah, but I mean, not to get too into the explanation of it. It's
because it's issue 1
it's
too.
third-
It's setup stuff.
Yeah, it's the third leg of the legendary trilogy.
What's
Dark Knight Returns.
What's the title of this miniseries?
So this is Dark Knight 3,
The Master Race.
The Master Race,
The Master Race.
or as some people affectionately refer to it, DK3, because they're just in a rush.
Yeah.
So,
I'm one of
but Frank Miller is not all over it like we thought, but that's a whole other story for another day.
I think we spoke about that last
but that's
week.
fine because this was pretty fucking good, man.
Great,
This was really
great
good.
issue. To great number 1. I mean, first
Yeah.
off,
Setting it all up. And,
I really did not have much expectation for this book at all because of all
The
the shit
hype.
that was coming around. Yeah, all the shit that was like surrounding
Well, the whole
it.
mystery of like who's writing it, who what not.
Exactly,
Sure.
that's
But
exactly
also
what I mean.
too, I was afraid of the whole hype. Like it's
Right.
gonna be like
Like the Dark Knight too. Like if anyone knows like what that's about, like everyone was built up after the Dark Knight, the original Dark Knight Returns, and then when they came out with the second leg of it, Dark Knight 2. I don't know what
the Dark Knight Strikes Back.
The Dark Knight Revenges.
Yeah, no one really. I haven't read it personally, but I know.
I mean, it's okay.
A lot of
it's
people
serviceable,
are like,
but it's just it was impossible to live up to the old thing. But this is a different animal.
Yeah. Also,
but really good, highly recommended. I'm sure there's copies somewhere. Go get them. There's about 1 billion. The one you have right now, it's not going to be worth anything.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not.
No, definitely not. I didn't even get a variant. I got the black one. It gets all my fingerprints all over it. That's why now it's a variant.
They didn't even.
No one's got this one.
All right. So I also picked up Jacked #1.
I did too.
This is from Vertigo.
Oh my God! It's like we made this list together.
This is from Vertigo. It's also a DC Comics property.
Sure,
it's their mature readers imprint.
Yes, kids, walk away now.
18 and up, please. 18 and
it's
up.
the same publisher that published Preacher, actually.
Yes.
Okay,
But Bill, would you like to fill
I
in
will
the listeners?
fill them in. So Jacked is it's a little similar to something else I read not that long ago, and I wasn't going to say Citizen
Jack.
Citizen Jack.
It is very similar to Adam.3, which is from Dark Horse.
Adam.3, yeah, is it?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the book I'm thinking of. It came out recently, right?
Yeah, but I didn't. Anyway, my point being, here's the setup, because I can't think about it and what I think of it, so I think about it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the hook on this is it's another one of these guys. He's a little unhappy with his life where it's at, like, you know what I mean, and this kind of thing, and he starts taking
older man, like maybe
older guy, he's prostate, this, that thing. Not old. He's not great yet, but he's getting there, and it's like creeping up on him. And so it's really just a lot of decent setup. They really don't show too much as to what's going to happen next. They don't foreshadow a lot, but basically, he ends up getting a hold of some meds that he gets all jacked. He gets all juiced up, but more than
not physically, or you could tell that he's like, he becomes
now he's bulked.
Yeah,
and Superman,
same stature that he was prior to taking.
Yeah,
the
so
pill,
it's definitely under the radar.
Yeah, he rips like the car door off of a burning car.
Yeah, without even realizing it.
Yeah,
and so.
Kind of like Jessica Jones.
Kind of.
I mean, it's of the archetype of the average person. Getting some super strength at least. I kind of forget though if there was more to it. If I'm missing a nuance or anything. If I'm missing another angle on it.
I think it's just going to be that like he's a guy that always expected more out of his life.
Yeah.
He's like one of those guys that kind of views himself as extraordinary, but isn't at all.
Right.
Kind of like Death of a Salesman type thing, if anyone knows what that is.
Ooh, wow. That's deep.
But,
whoa.
It's like, it's kind of deep. Death of a Salesman, overrated.
I'm just joking.
No, I know.
You said overrated?
No. I was making it up.
No, he's a deep cut.
Yeah.
I think everyone read that play in high school.
Yeah.
Everyone was.
It's a great play.
Listen, Ed, everyone was told to. Yeah. Not everybody read.
That's true.
Okay.
Very
Shakespeare too, probably, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Anyways,
I'll pick up some Stephen King.
Anyways, pretty good first issue. It's called Jacked.
Yeah, check it out. I think it's gonna.
It's only a 6-issue run.
I liked the first issue. Usually,
check it out.
Something like that might have felt a little recycled, but it felt different. I didn't come prepared with my notes for that one.
Also, no other #1s for this week from me, but I'll just mention it again. I think I mentioned it last week also. Black Magic #2 came out this past week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's from Image.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Rucka is the writer on that. Nicholas Scott is the artist.
Ooh. I have it. I didn't read it yet.
It's a very, very good book.
It stays good? Because issue 1 was good. I liked the issue 1.
Great book. Artwork is absolutely
great.
Amazing.
It's
Black and
gray
white.
tone, very painted looking kind of style, and it's pretty much photorealistic-ish kind of side of artwork. So I'm wondering just right now how labor intensive that might be if this book's like a planned 6-issue run with a break.
First 2 issues came out on time.
Yeah.
Does she color that herself?
I think so. I think it's one of these things where it's probably digital work. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's got this gray tone or sepia kind of tone to it. But black and white, I would say.
Yeah,
for
the tone of the artwork definitely agrees with the tone of the book.
Nice.
But it's just to sum it up real quick. It's pretty much like a female cop is the main character.
Small town?
I don't really think so.
Small-ish?
Kind of.
Okay.
But she's like a detective. Her last name is Black, and she's comes from a long line of witches in her family. I'm not really sure yet if
So it's like Halloween Town.
Kind of like Halloween Town.
Except
just better.
it's mixed with She's the Sheriff. If that's anybody? No? Okay.
No.
Suzanne Summers?
But
Showing my age. But no, yeah, so basically that's kind of like the thing. She gets embroiled with some stuff. Not to give it away.
yeah,
but
she
it's,
practices black magic.
But she definitely practices the black magic. If anybody, in order to get them to pick it up, it needs to be enticed. She basically strips down to her panties in the first issue.
Yeah.
Just saying. There's a story element. It was totally legit. Had to be done. Totally had to be done.
Yeah.
No, but
I can't really give away too much about the first issue.
Yeah,
because
the book is really in its hook. It's hard to kind of break it down. Other than that,
but that's another one that
some
definitely.
covens and some witches.
While the
and
number
stuff.
one's out there right now,
Probably
first
still
prints,
on the shelf.
Get it.
Get it.
Might be worth something one day.
I think it's kind of going under the radar.
So
that's
definitely a good book that I think will be good for a while.
That's definitely a strong recommendation here. What else you got on that little list there, Palsy? Anything else?
Just a couple things that have been.
Just read off the titles.
Drop them.
Postal number 8.
Big fan of that. Get the
From
hook
Image.
on Postal in case anybody's
I actually think I read that number 1.
Okay, so Postal. Wow. Huge setup for this. It's like, small town in Wyoming. Small town in Wyoming.
It's about a postal worker.
Okay, before I get there, small town in Wyoming that is, I think it's home to like 1,100 residents, and every resident in the town is a criminal that has a very very violent criminal record. So like this is all murderers, rapists, not just people that were robbing stores
serial
or
killers.
Yes.
So this is like a witness protection kind
So it's like a town that is not on Google Maps. If you type it in on Google Maps, it does not show up. It's not on any type of map. It's pretty much, it pretty much doesn't exist.
It's like a prison town.
It's filled with the criminally insane.
So
in a town.
So you find out later on that it's
Gotham City.
It's actually been set up by the FBI for a reason that I won't
reveal. Right.
But it's a town that the FBI really can't touch. So, nothing bad happens in the town. Everyone swears that they will not commit a crime. So it's...
Despite all this criminals being in it, it's actually crime-free.
Crime-free because no one wants attention brought onto the people that are living there. So, like
Catch-22 setup, I like that.
Yeah. So, like Ed said, you follow the mayor of the town's son, who's got...
Asperger's.
Some kind of Asperger's, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a postal worker. He's the only postal worker in the entire town.
Right.
Very interesting young man, and it's got interesting hook. I can't really give away too much because it's a lot of plot twists and a lot of.
But the son starts to unravel what's really kind of like the machinations of between his mother being the mayor and the other people in the town.
And the mayor is and
they're all fucking shit crazy, right?
Yeah, the mayor is a very interesting woman. So. You don't really find out too much about her yet, but she's special.
She's got something up her sleeve.
Yeah. And then the other book I picked up this week was Blood
That's
Feud.
our campaign theme. Which one was it?
Blood Feud, number 2.
Feud. Did you read it?
I did read it.
How was it? Because I read issue 1 and I kind of didn't pick up number 2. That's Charles Soule?
No, that's Cullen Bunn.
Cullen Bunn.
That's from Oni Press. Mentioned them last week. Don't really want to get too much into this book.
Yeah.
I'm not really feeling it that
Okay.
much. If you're intrigued by the name, because it does kind of have a cool title, look it up.
Gotcha. It's Hatfield and McCoy's with vampires a little bit.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah,
a little down home
Small
vampire
southern
stuff.
Town, yeah.
I gotcha. I like the hook on it, but it didn't really grab me that first one.
A little bit of Gothic Bonanza for you.
Gothic Bonanza.
Okay.
Cassidy and the McCoys.
Hoss Wayne. That's all I got. Okay. So I really appreciate that, Dom. I really appreciate you helping out with the comic book talk.
Yeah, it's my special to you.
You know what I mean? Because, we like comics. I got to start reading more.
Yeah, Bill's severely behind.
I've gotten into this
stats.
thing, man, where I'm buying them and then they're just starting to pile up. Like, I'll read the 3 hot books I gotta read, and then the rest of them kind of sit there. And it's not so much I'm losing love with those stories.
Yeah.
But they're just
You gotta make that time. You gotta find your time in your schedule. These are the 2 hours
hard,
where
bro.
I'm just
It's
gonna
hard,
read comics.
man. You know, I got 7 kids. I got these 2 dogs, 4 jobs, bro. Like, where am I squeezing in comic books? Like, you know, would I take a poop? That's about it.
Well, actually, while we're on comics, I actually want to...
thank God you didn't say while we were on poo.
While we're on poop, yeah. No, while we're on comics, I actually want to throw this out there. I mentioned a similar thing last week on the show.
Yeah.
With Oni Press. And I guess Image Comics. I guess they kind of saw what they were doing, and they were like, hey, we could kind of do that too.
Oh, they're jumping on the bandwagon?
And they're jumping on the bandwagon and releasing a whole bunch of #1s for $1. They're titling it Image Firsts.
Okay.
They've had this for a while, actually.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can remember. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was unaware of it.
But they do them like in like bunches, though.
Oh yeah.
So this is probably the next bunch that they're going to put out, though. I guess is probably the way it is.
Yeah. So it's not like a package like the only thing is where it all comes in one.
Because even Marvel's doing this now. I think their thing is like Marvel Spotlight or something.
Well, it's the True Believers.
True Believers. That's it. That's it. They're doing like $1 samplers.
Yeah. $1 first issue.
So what is this batch here we got going?
So all #1s for $1. Birthright, Bitch Planet,
good.
Copperhead.
Good.
No, you're reading that for a little bit.
I did put it down, but it's still good.
Descender, which is probably my #1 top pick for out of every book that I've read in 2015. Probably the best book that came out this year.
Put that quote on the next cover.
Nowhere Men, Odyssey, Sunstone, The Humans, and Wayward.
And Wayward. Okay. Wayward's supposed to be a pretty good series.
So now each one of these is a #1 that's on sale for $1.
Yes.
That's right.
Exactly.
I can vouch for Odyssey, Descender, and The Humans. The Humans is hysterical.
The Humans I've heard is really good. I know Waffle at Comic Book Jones is a big fan of that.
Monkeys
I never really
on motorcycles.
Oh yeah. I never really got a chance to check it out, but Odyssey, dude, was not feeling that at all.
Just for the visuals. Like, don't...
Yeah, the artwork and all the coloring, it's all fucking psychedelic fucking insanity.
Yeah, and
it's cool as fuck, but it's dense as
very... Yeah. Well, what's funny is the
easy,
first
buddy.
issue
Easy.
First issue I received had a timeline that came with it that was a foldout of like 8 pages worth of this is what happened before the story starts.
Any book that starts out with something
I was going to say that.
Like, not just like a cool, like, here's some pinup art and some concept sketches. It's like, no, here's a fucking graphic display of what you need to know to understand this. And then on top of that...
Star Wars that way.
And let me tell you this, Bob. On top of all of that, the whole concept of it is it's the retelling of the Odyssey. From Homer? No.
Homer's Odyssey.
Homer's Odyssey.
Except they're all chicks.
It's gender flipped. So all the girls are dudes now and all the dudes are girls now. Okay. So, like, imagine trying to keep that track in your head. If you were just a person who was passing knowledge of it.
But,
all wrapped in Mobius-like awesomeness.
But people love it. People love it. Supposedly it does it really good. It's got a really strong fan base. You know what I mean? It's just maybe too intellectual for myself.
I think that's probably true for me, too, I guess.
I'll say that just because I presume that's how that is.
Yeah, I guess so. But I could vouch for a couple of these on the top, Birthright and Bitch Planet. I think we mentioned what they're about a couple times in the show.
Yeah.
But,
basically, it's all quality. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step
No, it's all right. Those are the only 2 that I've personally read besides Descender and Odyssey on here.
Yeah,
and they're both great books. So I mean, that's my 2 cents. I'm sorry.
Right. No, I was just going to say that. So the bottom line is that they're all top line books, high quality. It's all high quality stuff.
Well, no, I actually don't think so.
Some of it's just different. Like
I don't think that's. I really don't think that's the case with this. I think because a few of them on here are like the lower rated books that that are from
trying
Image.
to puff up a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I actually forgot to say that. Yeah.
Check it out. You might like it.
I think that's the point of it. Probably. Here's a #1 for $1. That's not really doing so well.
I can see that
so maybe
being the case.
Maybe we
and you know what?
Here's books that didn't get enough time to shine. I feel like need a bigger push. Books that probably obviously
there's a few on there that I've
have
never heard
a big push, but people missed out on.
And you know what? We'll give a plug to our buddies at Comic Book Jones. They're only 80 cents.
That's it.
That's right. 20% off on Wednesdays, right?
20% off on Wednesdays.
No, 20% off on all #1s and first volume graphic novels.
Yes.
Forever.
That's how you got to say that. You got to say it like they used to do with us.
So I think that's about it for comics, right?
Yeah, I think that wraps. I think that's going to wrap it up for the comics talk. Thanks,
Oh,
Bob.
that's the news.
That's the news.
Theme.
Now I can chop out all that other crap. Ladies and gentlemen, we present you with some nerdy news. I came back. All right. Kids, I don't know if you saw it. I mean, I hope that you did, because otherwise you're underneath a rock. But Civil War trailer came out this week.
Yes, that's Captain America 3 Civil War.
That's basically Captain America beats up Iron Man, the movie.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. I don't know if...
yeah, that's what it looked like in the trailer to me.
Now I wonder if, because this is Captain America's movie, that he's
Right.
just going to win every fight with Tony. That'd be hilarious.
He kind of has to. I mean, to a degree. I mean, it might
Unless
it's a draw.
maybe
Yeah.
this is
Possible.
I'm
A
just
thing?
possible spoiler.
Okay. They die.
What if Captain America dies in the end of this movie?
Oh, my God.
I mean, Chris.
I
what's
couldn't handle it.
Chris Evans' contract status?
Let me
I've been
go
saying this for a
pull
few
it out. It's in the drawer downstairs. No, I mean, well, that's what Dom's been kind of saying is what if this is the big fucking way out? And it is the third one. That's, it's 3+, I think, is the deals that they have set up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see it in my dreams, but I don't see it happening in real life, unfortunately. But
Tony
it'll be
Stark
amazing, obviously.
kills Captain America, and because so overcome with guilt
Right.
that he kills himself.
Right. I think he's going to beat him over the head with that big, thick contract, the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah, and
papers.
then we find out that Infinity War isn't a new Avengers movie; it's actually the reboot.
Oh my God! Just start it all over.
I think Tony Stark just locks himself in Iron Man's onboard restroom.
Yeah, I mean, and just does what? Cry
Yeah, cries.
and just cries,
Cries,
just
yeah.
sobs.
Mm-hmm.
But I was your friend.
I thought I was your friend.
Yeah, maybe that's what's happening. Maybe Tony's just decided not to fight back because he's
Right.
in the tin suit. And
They should just
Captain
read the-
America can't really,
That would be such
beat him in the
bullshit.
tin suit. You know?
Imagine
what I mean?
like that actually happened, where they paint Tony as like the victim here, where it's oh, my friend's trying to beat me up, and I'm not going to fight back because he's my best friend. Because in the
That's-
comic, they
yeah.
literally they paint
Oh, my God.
paint Tony as the villain. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
For
Tony's
anyone out
always-
there who
right.
doesn't say
Right.
that Tony is the fucking
Well,
villain
he's
in Civil
usually-
War,
yeah,
go fuck
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, he's
'cause Tony
usually
is
the cocky
villain
drunk
of that.
asshole.
Exactly.
Basically.
That's just the way.
I see all these nerds on Twitter every day, Tony is not the villain, all right? Iron Man is not the villain in Civil War. He is an antagonist. He is not the villain. And it's dude, it's a fucking Captain America book.
And are you going to argue with me with the lack of similarity between what's an antagonist and what's a villain?
Thank you.
Do you know what an antagonist is? Usually the bad guy.
I always understand.
Look that up on Wikipedia.
The antagonist is the story is the guy who spouts and preaches things that I actually believe.
Right. There you go, and there's a little insight.
You
to
know
Ed.
that's the thing about Bond villains. It's the guy lays out the plan, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, yeah. Maybe
I mean,
that would
he's
work.
got a point. He's going a crazy route to get there, but he
Yeah.
does just really want to fix the
and
planet.
and then Bond calls him a
Right.
madman. I'm like, what does that say about me?
Well, isn't that always the kind of the greatest thing? Is they try to do that with these the motivations. It's oh no, let's give him a motivation that seems like an idea you could almost agree with, so you can see where he's coming from. But did they make him use some crazy, the villain's always got to use some crazy outlandish way to achieve that? But in order for me to fix the world, I have to kill 33% of it. Not a problem.
The
You
only
don't like 33% of your family.
We could save the planet and stop global warming by just killing all the people.
That's all. We'll just freeze the whole planet. There you go. No more global warming.
Oh, but the select few.
It's a global cooling.
Maybe you can come.
You guys at a Bernie Sanders rally or something? What the fuck's going
Yeah,
on?
we're doing Bernie Sanders as a Bond villain. This climate change is out of control. Just want everybody to know that.
Yeah, so
The wind is really whipping my hair.
So the Russo brothers,
The Russo brothers.
they came out and confirmed 3 months that the Sokovia Accords, quote unquote, will replace the Superhuman Registration Act. If you're familiar with the comic strip
And the Honda Accords.
Okay, yeah,
Them too.
I think
Them
those
too.
do need to be replaced
You
because
know
they've
what?
been around for a fucking long
if you
time.
told me a
Yeah.
Sokovia was a kind of car, I'd believe you.
I've always been more of a Civic guy myself.
Yeah.
But anyway.
well,
Either way, they're all outdated.
you just like certain kinds of lessons.
Anyway.
So if that means anything to anyone who read the book, there you go.
There you
if
go.
not, fucking move on here.
It's
Let's
just
go.
the MCU's interpretation of the classic Marvel Superhuman Registration Act that's been kicking around since
07?
88.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean,
yeah.
really. I mean, I remember reading that in Mark Gruenwald's Captain America run back when Cap got replaced the first time. Well, not the first time, but when John Walker, the guy who became U.S. agent,
The first good time.
when all of a sudden it was Insano
wasn't it
Cap
U.S.
versus
Patriot or something.
yeah, eventually, but it's Insano Cap versus Klansman.
I remember
basically, like every issue. But fun times. It was great for a kid to read. You know, you get your moral ambiguity in doses.
Yeah, and then you get don't forget to brush your teeth, kids. On the back page,
yeah, well, that's it. You know what I mean? But we all cried basically. The trailer was good. Ed, what'd you think? Trailer scale of 1 to 10. Civil War. Ooh. Don't be afraid. Give an honest opinion. That's good.
It was,
okay. No, good.
Yeah, it was a solid teaser. I'm hungry for more. I would say an 8.5.
8.5. I like it. Dom, what would you give it if you had to give it a number?
I would probably go with a 9 just because.
You would go with a 9. Bob, what would you give it if you had to give it a number?
I'd give it an 8.
Give it an 8. Thank you very much. I give it no numbers because that's me.
It's as perfect as it could possibly be as a trailer.
Thank you.
I would never give it a 10 out of 10 because such thing does not exist.
Welcome to the McGeekling group.
Yes. Moving on. Game of Thrones actually released a teaser image for season 6.
It doesn't get much more teasy than that, kids.
No, it does not.
You know, here's a bloody 3/4 face, you know, of your boy Jon Snow.
But he still hasn't cut his hair.
That's true. He hasn't cut his hair. He hasn't shaved either. People should be more upset about the shaving and be like, that's a sign. He's still got 5 o'clock shadow.
But it's Movember still.
That's true. I'm letting it grow in. It's my lip now. I don't know if anybody knows.
Full disclosure here, I do not watch Game of Thrones, so all of my comments on this subject are from an outsider's perspective.
There you go. And from a non-knower as well. Or the same.
Yeah. I'm not a fan either.
Still holds up.
I just don't want to put my foot in my mouth.
There you go. Fair enough. That's a good way to play
that's
things.
Good. That's
you know
good.
what I mean? That's what I try and do sometimes. And people go, why are you so quiet? It's because I hate all of you. So, I mean, people went gaga for that. They think it's like, oh my God, it's so indicative. It means everything. But it's, you know, it's not.
I think this could actually be them being like, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I saw it, the first thing I thought was like, okay, this is, you know, now more than ever, I believe that Jon Snow will actually be brought back to life.
Right.
But this could actually just be them like fucking with us. Like,
here's
a teaser of him like actually dead.
Well, I think the thing for them
his
is
eyes
like,
are pretty closed here.
I think the thing for them is that they looked at it like, well, here's the thing. It's the worst kept secret in the world, the fact that he came back and shot something. So why don't we just use that to our advantage, have him take a publicity shot. We'll use it as the tease because that is the big thing in question.
Right.
And let people wonder if that's a dead Jon Snow or an alive Jon Snow.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or zombie Johnny. Zombie Jon Snow.
White Walker John.
That's my new band, White Walker John. Also in the news,
Fox has removed the Fantastic Four sequel, Fantastic Four #2, from its 2017 schedule.
Brilliant idea. Brilliance.
Officially.
Wow. I think we could all go, whew.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that nobody saw that coming.
Well, here's the thing. You would you say that in jest, but it's like,
yeah, I mean, honestly,
like who thought they would have buckled? Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, like that's the thing we all would want them to do. But Fox doesn't seem like that kind of company.
Yeah.
The fact that Marvel even made a deal and got Daredevil back at one point, you know what I mean, was able to negotiate that out somehow.
And I don't believe
you know,
they haven't officially said the movie's not happening. They've just taken it off the schedule.
Might have pushed it back.
It's still in development.
You know, they don't like the director. Probably some issue with directors. They seem to have problems with directors.
Yes, that's the truth.
Well, maybe now it's just take it off the schedule because now they're going to try another reboot.
Wait, how long do we have to wait? You know what I mean?
5 years.
5 years. All right. In year 4, we'll put something in production.
Honestly,
let's wait till the next batch, the current batch of Disney actors, is old enough to play the roles.
Yeah.
And just reboot.
In like 5 more years.
I really think that like now,
Yep.
like I just really want Marvel to get the rights back for Fantastic Four,
Of
not
course.
to go on record, not in like terms of another reboot,
Right.
but solely because
they could protect it.
I really feel
and nobody
bad.
else would be mucking it up.
Not even that. I just really feel bad for people that are big Fantastic Four fans. Like I particularly am not.
Right.
I mean,
But
I
you can
see why
sympathize,
people
you know what I mean?
are, and I feel like they're suffering because Marvel's pretty much pushed the Fantastic Four to the side, literally, because of their relationship with Fox. And I think the comics are clearly suffering because they completely disbanded the team. They canceled the book completely.
Right. And scattered them around the MCU.
Exactly. Like all 4 of them are a part of a different team right now. Just I think to tell people that okay, Fantastic Four is no more. The Thing is a part of the
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Human Torch is a part of the Avengers. The other two we really haven't seen yet in any of the new shit.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at.
But I think it's just kind of a slap in the face to the fans of the Fantastic Four, and it's kind of a little childish.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, too. Well, hopefully there's been enough of a shakeup over there where...
And I'm not saying Fox is a fucking angel either. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, absolutely not.
But
that's been the historical thing with the
I
studios.
think
They don't
ultimately
play well.
Fox is the one with the problem.
Yeah.
Because I think
absolutely.
the only people on the planet who want Fox to have the license is Fox.
Right.
They took a gamble. They went in one direction. It didn't work.
Yeah.
If I think it's called the Indoor Kids, is a podcast. Max Landis, who wrote Chronicle, did a pitch that he explained on that podcast, and it sounded like it would have exactly fit in with the mood of the MCU, just kind of that direction. It would have been a nice, fun family action movie. And they just didn't want to do that.
No, because it's not grandiose enough. And to them, it probably seems like in the way that they visualize things, too similar to what we tried to do with the last one. Because, the problem is that a lot of the guys who end up at studio heads, the real problem is that a lot of these guys come out of the marketing divisions. They just work their way up, and so the only way that they know how to visualize and conceptualize and do anything with movies is from a marketing mentality standpoint. So it's like, what are the big shiny things? How do I sell it? Tell me how I sell it. And that's why things that are like first-time scripts, obviously it's a risk aversion thing as well, but it's a lot of things where, like, if he can't see it, if he doesn't know how to sell it, then his career is on the line.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing when your job is on the line as a guy working in marketing. You can kind of blame it on the department, you know what I mean, unless it was your idea or whatever. But now that you're at top of the studio, you know what I mean, and if you can't sell it, in your view, like, that's all that matters. And, like, so if someone can't convince you, you might be. This is a thing I've read in a couple of different articles that a lot of these guys.
It's the kind of
this is the kind of stumbling blocks that a lot of studios are suffering from.
You get a director who had one hit, and you get three young actors who are all on the up and coming.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I'll give it to them. They tried something really bold, kind of in a way with it, and I would hate to see them shy away from trying to be bold again in another way. But they should really, if they're gonna stick to it and they're gonna hold it, they should just lock it up for a while, try it again in 5 years, 4 years, whatever it is for the fucking before the thing runs out.
Well, I think what they got to do too is they really got to just admit that the license is what it is, and it is not summer blockbuster material. It is Ant-Man.
It can be, but
Ant-Man type show, a movie.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Fair enough.
more like Ant-Man was, less like Captain America.
You know what it is?
I think the Fantastic Four has the potential to be like the Avengers. I just think it just hasn't gotten that.
It hasn't gotten the right
screen,
shake. It hasn't gotten the right shake. You know what it really is? It's lost in space. It's to
true.
a degree. It's kind of in that tone. And that's a hard thing to nail. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. But like the original Fantastic Four, it's not the original Corman shit, obviously, but the Jessica Alba editions,
right?
For lack of a better term, the Jessica Alba run. I mean, that's trying to find that sweet spot in that zone. So it's a thing where, like, some things work, some things don't. A lot of things don't. But that's kind of a
and it's also
it's not easy.
The thing that none of these movies had that they needed was heart. You had a movie that
they're trying to put it in there, but it's not really.
This last one, they had a movie that at its core was soulless.
Right.
They made a bad movie, and then they try to throw a bunch of more money on top of it to fix it, and that's not going to stop the key problem.
No, the problem is that
which isn't something you can quantify.
The first runs for them had no gravitas, and this one was swimming in it, and. That's not the issue. That this one was heavy-handed or swimming in it. Is that you decided to do something fucking artistic, and you came in and you took the brushes away from the guy who was trying to make the painting, and at the very least, let it stand. It's his thing. Like, he's the one who fucking messed it up, and now you're gonna get shit for coming in and trying to fix it and then messing it up even more. Like, now we would never know what it was gonna be. Anyway, enough of that.
So moving forward with news.
Yes, please.
There was an article on Bleeding Cool that Bill actually brought to my attention.
Oh my God!
About DC Comics and how their relationship is changing with Warner Brothers.
Yep.
So, Bill, would you like to shed some light on
Well,
that?
here's the thing. Like Warner Brothers, this is some studio kind of inside shit, but, the thing that's kind of been always holding Warner Brothers from, whenever they want to do things, like in any of their divisions, it's all this cross-divisional kind of stuff. DC's great to have in the stable.
Just looking at the article real quick right here, actually, like to clear out your point there.
Absolutely.
Like the writer of the article, like, makes an analogy of Warner Brothers to Westeros. He says, 7 roughly aligned kingdoms with shifting priorities and political stakes. It meant trouble if, say, Warner Brothers Animation wanted to use the Joker in an episode of Justice League Unlimited, but the character was held in reserve for an upcoming film. So he makes an analogy also to Arrow shifting away from the Suicide Squad, which they did a lot in the early seasons of the show, and now they haven't done anything like that because we have the movie coming.
Right. So now it's all this jockeying around instead of saying just,
we can't do this on TV because we're getting the movie.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? Or whereas they used to kind of, it's kind of shifted. Whereas it used to be like, okay, we're saving that for the movies, you can't use it at all. At least Arrow was allowed to play in that pen for a while, and then they said, no, you got to pull it back. You got to pull it back. But it's a thing where like the attitude is shifting. So, which might explain why we've been seeing a lot of the news that we've been seeing this week, where all of a sudden it seems like, oh, we want to kind of cross-pollinate. We're going to kind of play around. Maybe we will do the Flash, have him get an appearance on Supergirl, which was a rumor that popped up because it's the same production companies. It's just different networks. So that rumor now is kind of spun around again this week that maybe that's going to happen.
Right to that. Like, there was a huge rumor going around the mill that Constantine would be.
I just wanted to pose the question: does she know how to run fast yet? Because that's an ability that
a lot of people have been saying
has.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's.
I mean, we've
where
seen
where
her
the
fly,
time would come from.
Right.
We've seen her fly very fast. I don't think she's. We've actually seen her on the ground running.
Right. So this is the thing that some people put forward. So if you can't do the fastest man alive run with Superman, maybe you could do it in the episode if you have Supergirl.
Yeah. Well, people are saying like, if she does cross over with the Flash, I better see her in a foot race with Barry.
Yeah. Basically, it's like why else would you do it if you can't do that one fun thing?
And also, it's going to be weird to see how those. I'll believe this when I see it.
Fair
with a lot of
this
this cross network stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to speculate too much because for all we know, this is something that they're probably talking about that's never going to happen.
Never going to happen or won't happen for another year or so.
These days, you got to realize that all these networks, the battle for attention is super hot.
Right.
So if they can get it by having one of their characters on your network for 40 minutes, 42 minutes, whatever it is, why not?
Well, that's one of the things that one of the articles was talking about with this particular one with Flash and Supergirl, that CBS is probably looking for a reason to have Supergirl get a really big spike because it does decent ratings, but is it really going to be good enough throughout the season to hold up that show, because that show's got a decent budget? You know what I mean? So
and also something,
this is something that wouldn't happen still until they get an agreement for the back 9 episodes, as they say, or something like that.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that
for Constantine. Right.
Well, I was going to say that first off, CBS owns supposedly half of the CW network.
Right. It's all very incestuous.
So
it kind of would be in their interest to cross promote with that network.
And supposedly there was an agreement where Supergirl was originally ordered for 13 episodes,
right?
And it would need 9 more to complete the full season, 22. And there was supposedly an agreement that if it ever reached that 22 episode mark, that a requirement for it reaching that would be a crossover with the CW shows. So.
Really? Okay, then maybe
that's the way I took it when I read it.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Well, that would make things
very unheard of. You know what I mean? But hey, you know what I mean? It's going to stem out from it being the same production team.
And you know what? It's the same guys. That's a smart move on Greg Berlanti's part. If on the production team for Supergirl.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a way for them to try and guarantee a real big crossover.
Berlanti's great, man.
He's a good guy.
He's on Blind Spot too. I don't know if anyone's been watching.
Oh, that's part of him. That's one of his things.
That's him.
And he's been around for a while too, doing all kinds of other stuff. Like if you looked him up, man, he'd be really surprised if he's hit list.
So anyway, Constantine was also rumored to be on the team for Legends of Tomorrow in season 2 of that show.
Okay, just stop it. Just stop it.
Stop these Constantine dreams you keep throwing my way. What's he going to be on, CSI next? You know what I mean?
His show is pretty much
Constantine.
CSI.
Law and Order Hellgate Division.
Somebody give me a Marlboro.
This guy's dying. Ow! To get out. Anyway, something like that.
Boo.
You weren't too far. Okay. So now there was a rumor that, maybe Constantine will pop up in, DC's Legends of Mañana. But
because there was a rumor that supposedly they wanted to change up the roster for that team every single season,
which makes sense. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Which would be really cool, or at least rotate out.
But turns out that was complete horseshit.
Oh my god!
And turns out also that Legends of Tomorrow is like an amazingly expensive show,
right?
In terms of budget. So they don't even think they're even going to do a second season.
I told you.
Oh shit!
I told you.
Oh my god!
Stop it!
Oh my god! Ed just got off.
All these Constantine fans.
Hey Steph, there's that New York accent that you were wondering about.
There you go.
I told you. I fucking told you, jerk-offs.
Hey.
69,000 signatures straight up your ass.
Give up this hope for Constantine. But,
so I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. The DC run around for that stuff.
But while we're on DC,
but yes, there is one more.
keep an eye out for Gotham this week, the fall finale, which is highly anticipated.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a good
great season.
Came back.
There'll be a Batman vs Superman teaser.
I'm not saying it's perfect, Gotham, but it came back good.
I think it's pretty good.
But better than the whole episode will be the Batman vs Superman teaser.
There it is. Batman vs Superman teaser will air. I don't know when.
Tonight.
No.
By the minute?
Oh, yeah. If you're listening to this the day it posts, yes, tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Tonight, please go.
If this is Monday in your universe, in your time stream.
If this is Earth 2. I guess all our listeners are on Earth 2, right?
Yeah, probably. Well, they're all in the future.
No, actually, we're on Earth Prime.
Okay.
We're in the past, presently, speaking to the future.
Yes, Earth
tomorrow.
Prime is the world with no superheroes on it.
Earthimus Prime.
That's right. There you go. This dude tried to rob a store dressed as the Sith Lord.
How'd that work out for him?
Not good. Not good. He botched it. Pretty bad. I can't remember exactly.
He couldn't force choke anybody.
I believe the clerk took the gun away from him.
Yes, yes. I was trying to remember what the actual fucking hook of the story was. And you don't happen to have it in front of you, do you?
Okay, so he tried to rob the store at gunpoint, pretty much, and. It's from comicbook.com, by the way. Found out quickly that the Vader mask he was wearing apparently didn't provide much in the way of protection. The police report says he was foiled when a store employee threw a jar of salad dressing in the suspect's face. When he was arrested, he had cuts on his face. A witness claims to have seen him rush out of his car and speed away while pulling the Vader helmet off. He was the only one injured during the robbery. He was taken to a hospital for treatment. To his face before he was arrested.
For treatment to his face.
Right, but he didn't need a respirator because he had one in his suit. Right?
right. He was able to breathe through the salad dressing. That was some pretty intense salad dressing he got doused with. Must have been like the lava.
The vinegar.
Yeah. So was anybody ever a fan of Tremors? Did anybody ever see Tremors?
After Bob.
3 through 5?
No.
None.
I think I had Tremors watching those movies.
Yeah, you probably did. So Kevin Bacon's gonna fucking downgrade and bring Tremors back.
He's coming back.
He's kind of hard up for consistent work. So
he was just that's what I mean. He was just doing a pretty solid show on Fox. I mean, I know that they canned it.
The following,
they shut that down, right? Yeah. I mean, granted, it wasn't no
only the
super
first
hit.
The first season was okay.
And you were watching it for a while.
It was one of those things like the end of the first season finale. That's what to hook you and be like, oh my god, this is the greatest show ever.
Yeah.
Was like, oh, I don't need to see anymore.
Oh, the story's over, right?
Yeah, it was like they killed one character who was and similar to what happened on Game of Thrones. They killed one character that I identified with, and I was like, no, I don't care what happens to any more of these people.
Right, you're not attached to anybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, the one person that was actually worth it, and actually probably that's why you had to kill them, so anybody would feel anything at all.
Yeah.
But now, I'm not interested.
Yeah, exactly.
You killed Mary. Mary was my favorite.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I understand.
Mary.
Oh, Mary. So anyway, obviously, oddly enough, there was 5. They kept on making these Tremors movies. So to some degree, Kevin Bacon's like, yo, I want to bring it back as a TV show, I think. Point being, it's unnecessary.
Okay.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so this is actually maybe we should make this a segment because I got a bunch of reboot stuff here. Maybe we should just make this the reboot report.
Totally unnecessary movies.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
totally.
I think the last show they used the concept of giant worms was SpongeBob.
And that actually makes more sense. Okay, so speaking of reboots, I don't know because I really wasn't too sure, but this week, in the beginning of the week, they were talking about redoing The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Well, this is interesting.
Not with Tom Cruise.
Well,
I don't need another
know
motorcycle
that.
scene across the
Here's the
desert.
thing: Universal is taking their famous group of monsters,
Yeah,
and they're trying to create a Marvel-like cohesive cinematic universe. Yes, and evidently
Everybody is, Bob.
So Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Mummy.
yeah. The Monster Squad.
And
the Wolfman.
Wolfman's got nards.
right.
Creature from the Black
would that
Lagoon.
include Teen Wolf?
They beat that to death on MTV.
Yeah.
That's true.
What
true.
else? What else would they have?
Black Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Jaws. They made Jaws.
They
Right.
they did do Jaws.
They did do Jaws. But if we're talking about the classic
Yeah.
Universal staple
King
of monsters,
Mm-hmm.
King Kong, I think, does eke
Yeah.
out into that a little bit, but maybe
Yeah,
not.
Yeah, but
they made the
he's with
1970s.
Godzilla.
Right.
That's a different
I
level.
sneezed. Thank you, Dominic. Thank you, Dominic, for caring. Unlike some.
So anyway, the Mummy is the next one on the
Yeah,
slate.
the mummies that they're trying to do. I don't know how much this truth there is to this Tom Cruise thing.
Well, what was
But-
funny is when I first threw that article up on the page,
Yeah.
it said Tom Cruise in talks to star in the Mummy reboot, and then
Right. Was the article
and then like
originally-
2 days later, that article changed to Tom Cruise has emphatically denied any connection to this film.
Okay, then. I should have looked
So-
this one up a little bit.
Right. I was going to ask you if you checked the original published date on the article, and it was April 1st, 2014 or 2015.
No, it was legit. Just Cruise was different. It was spelled R-O-O-S. So some other guy.
Larry Crews.
On the roof.
Larry Crews. It was Tony. It was Tony Crews. I thought it was Tom. So, all right. So we'll just forget that even happened. So also in the reboot report is that they're talking again about making another Gremlins movie.
But this is not going to be a reboot.
According to a guy who needs a job right now.
Yes.
And he's probably hoping to
So
kick it
they found
kick it
the
alive.
Asian guy, the old Asian guy with the Mogwai in the box. and-
No, he's dead. He's dead.
What's the actor's name? Let's give this guy a little bit of credit here.
His name is Billy. That's all that matters. Is he played Billy. All right, he was the main kid. He was the main guy from the first two movies.
Oh,
and,
it wasn't Gutenberg involved in that? Steve
No.
Gutenberg?
You'd want to remember it as Gutenberg and kick it up a notch. But I forget. This guy actually looks like a. He reminds me a little bit of Brandon Ruth a little bit. They got a similar look. At least he did back in the days. This
Sort
guy.
of, yeah.
So sort of. Brown hair, curly hair, tall, goofy looking, Caucasian as fuck.
He's black now.
He's mighty fucking white. Let me tell you that.
It
So
looks like a cartoon drawing that was drawn so you could color it in the kids' coloring book.
yeah, sure.
Really white and really black.
yeah, almost gray.
Yeah.
So so he kind of just was. Someone asked him, "Hey, would you like work?" And he was like, "Yes, a Gremlins sequel would be amazing, but let's not do a reboot."
Well, they are doing another movie. Chris
Yeah.
Columbus is involved, and Chris Columbus does not want to remake the movie.
Right. He just
He
wants to
doesn't
do a
wanna-
continuation.
Yeah.
He didn't. And then in that article, he the actor, the kid that we can't remember his name, he had said that Christopher Columbus wasn't really attached to the sequel that came out, Gremlins 2.
The new batch.
Let's go to the movies one, and then so he doesn't know really if Christopher Columbus would even paying attention to that fucking film.
Well, isn't Chris Columbus, and correct me if I'm wrong, because isn't he like Spielberg's protege?
I'm not sure what the history is.
He's one of that group who was sort of like the next generation. Who
He's
came
like
in.
Zemeckis and stuff like that.
Yeah, one of them,
you know.
because I know there's one of them
Yeah.
that's out there now that was like taken under. Spielberg took him under his wing.
I mean,
He's
he's
got some like
I was thinking
amazing
if he was the
movies
one,
to
then
his
he
credit,
wouldn't really
though.
want to. He wouldn't want to reboot.
Well,
he would want to continue.
I mean,
his,
the thing people would
you know?
know him from. I'm pretty sure he wrote The Goonies and Young Sherlock Holmes.
And directed Home Alone.
He directed Home Alone
Directed,
and the first two
Doubtfire, Mrs. Doubtfire.
and Mrs. Doubtfire and the first two Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
So he's done a couple of things.
Right.
I think it's fair to say the guy's made a couple of.
I'm pretty sure
flicks.
I'm pretty sure he did that new movie with Adam Sandler, Pixels. I don't really know how good that was. Looks pretty silly, but
We'll forget about that one.
We'll pretend it didn't happen.
And he also did Percy
Dinklage
Jackson.
was in that one too. Your boy Dinklage.
Let's just pretend it didn't happen.
Let's
Like
just
the rest of
pretend-
Hollywood,
yeah.
let's just pretend that
Yeah.
didn't happen. So that's going to wrap up the newsy bits. We're going to get into some TV talk. Guys, have you watched any TV in the last year? There's cool shit going on.
Is there?
Really?
Yeah.
I forgot about TV because
Yeah.
there really hasn't been any on this
Well,
week.
we just spent a fucking year and a half talking about news, so I can understand why you might be confused.
There's a little bit of a show on AMC. It's called The Walking Dead. I don't know if you guys ever seen it.
Do we want to say spoiler
Heard of
now? Do we spoil? Can we spoil? Bill, can I spoil it? Can I spoil it? We found an answer to the question that we've been waiting to hear answered.
And then answer to my question on the last episode of this
How
podcast.
do zombies make love?
That still goes unanswered.
Okay. Oh, that was my question. I thought we all had the same question.
Why hasn't anyone asked Kirkman that? I mean, why has he not been held accountable for that answer yet? What the fuck?
Are these zombies reproducing? Like, what's going on? There's an awful lot. How come none of these guys are they've run out of things to rot away? Like, I don't, you know?
Yeah, but anyways,
sir?
Glenn's alive.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Was there some great, crazy explanation of, like, where, like, how?
No, it's exactly what we all thought it was.
He pretty much just climbed under a dumpster and...
Scooted to safety?
He just split.
That's it. That's fucked up. He just fucking like, I'm done. I'm done with this show. Done with these zombies.
Just keep sending my checks to my direct deposit and I'm good.
Okay. So, that's it?
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
So pretty much Glenn's alive. And
Glenn's alive, and the big finale coming tomorrow night for us. And then the last night for you people at home. Hey, did you like it? Did you watch it? What did you think of it?
Email us. Tell us all about it.
Tell us all about it.
I have a question, Bill. Is it a 90-minute episode?
I don't even know, man.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is.
Because they usually promote the shit out of that.
62 and a half minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's their big pushing point usually when they have to do that.
All right. There's
stuff.
I know, Bill, you've been digging this second season of this show right here. It's called Fargo.
I'd put that on the list.
Oh man,
I'd put that on the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I just put some random shows on the list. We don't.
You
have
don't
to
put
talk about
random
them.
on the list.
Yeah.
Now you have to talk about it.
All right, fine. No,
Ed, how is Fargo this week?
Fargo was amazing.
Okay, done. All right.
And
then
amazing.
And
then there was no. The thing I love about that show is visually it's stunning. You get these great views.
All right, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, of the landscape.
They're still doing that?
North
Yeah.
Dakota?
Oh, yeah.
Still doing all that beautiful photography bullshit?
Yeah. And combined with gunfights and blood everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Everywhere.
All right, now you got me.
No, it gets everywhere. Like you're gonna need to put that shit through the washing machine like 6 times.
Ooh.
I swear.
I couldn't hear myself.
Mm-hmm.
How about
I can hear me now. Okay.
Ash vs. the Evil Dead?
Yeah, how is
been
that?
watching that?
That's what I want to know. Are you still watching that?
Yeah. It's cute. It's fun.
It
actually reminds me a lot of the kind of shows Bruce Campbell was doing in the 90s in syndication.
Oh my god!
Like
the Action Network, whatever that.
No. It was usually the stuff that was on WPIX.
No, I know, like Jack of all trades and that kind of thing. I was just trying to think.
What was the Western he did?
Briscoe County.
Yes.
Yes, I get the points.
Yeah.
Ding! I win. We can go home now.
Yeah, and
That's all it takes.
No, but it's fun. It's Ash awesomeness. If anyone remembers reading, an Army of Darkness comic book in the last 15 years, it's got that feel. That
it's
vibe
definitely.
to it.
Now
He's working now where he's working in Walmart now, right? Basically, or
at the beginning of the show he is. I can't say after the first.
That alone tells me that he dies. I mean, he's working at S Smart, which
right. That's right. That's what it was.
Shop Smart.
Shop S Smart.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I haven't really seen any of the show, but I've seen that.
But it's kind of
it's been getting
it's goofy horror
awesome.
and the tone of the original movies, and it holds up.
Yeah, I think it holds up.
Okay, that's good for me because that's kind of like all I really want to make sure on that show.
Just the only question is how long will it last?
Exactly. You watching Into the Badlands?
Yes, I am.
And you watched episode 2? Right?
Yes,
that's all we're up to, right?
Yes, I did.
How'd that hold up? Because I had it on in the room. I really wasn't paying attention to it.
No, I enjoyed it.
Right.
Knife wielding redheads are always a plus.
Oh, that's right. It did start up with that. And then after that, I really wasn't paying attention. Okay. And now we can move on to some superhero roundup-y stuff from TV. Because that's what we do. We mentioned Gotham earlier, but Gotham's gotten a lot better.
Yes, it has.
Finale coming up this week, as we mentioned, with the Batman vs. Superman teaser.
Now, is this the end of the Rise of the Villain storyline?
I think so. I mean, I don't know if they're going to split the seasons and give them little subtitles to each half season, but I would think so. I mean, I would think that would be the good way to do it.
I think that definitely worked. In this instance.
I mean, obviously it was like, well, that's the story arc. Let's brand it. You know what I mean? And I don't know, carry on with that shit and make next half season Mo villains.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's the whole Mo villains.
Last season, season 1 definitely had a Freak of the Week vibe.
Yeah,
and we've kind of moved away from that now.
Well, this season started out like just being like, bad shit crazy for like the first 2 or 3 episodes. It felt a little bit all over the place.
I'll
but
go
then
with the first one.
And then it's solidified. What was that?
It was like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, and then after that, it got good, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's what I mean. Like, them cleaning up the shit from last season, which kind of makes sense. You know, they were cleaning up a mess.
I'm just thinking, God, Jada Pinkett's not on that show anymore.
Oh my God, scene stealer. Okay, not in an always good way. So, Supergirl, you said you were watching, Ed.
Yes.
I think you're the only one really keeping up with that.
No,
you're watching it?
I'm watching it every week.
Oh, okay, cool. Because this way it's not just a fucking Ed show. Because I'm getting tired of talking to this guy. Oh, let me fucking lay over here, lounge out, and be like so dumb. How about that Supergirl?
Supergirl is, it's okay. That's really the only descriptive word I can give it.
Yeah,
is okay. Hasn't really done anything to wow me like the first season of The Flash did. We're pretty far along, right? It's like episode 6
I mean,
or 7.
the episodes definitely have a formula to them.
Yeah.
You're getting that vibe. It's sort of settling in. She's having the boy trouble, which somehow superheroes do have.
Yeah, well, it's universal.
But man, I do like it. I don't think it's phenomenal.
Right.
I think it's good.
All right.
It's definitely it's enough to keep me watching it. Like I'm not going to stop.
I mean,
watching
obviously,
it. Unless something atrocious happens, I'm not going to stop watching it.
I want to find out what type of shenanigans that Hank Henshaw is up to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that Hank Henshaw.
Darn Hank Henshaw.
And that Maxwell Lord.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he lording over now? Huh?
Oh, that Max. So
yeah, those are like potentially the two. I don't really know if Hank is going to be a villain. Is he? You know better than I do. Because
I see. Here's the thing.
Cyborg Superman. Or
I know who
he
is in the comics.
Is that a villain character? I don't really
know.
In
the comics he's Cyborg Superman.
I didn't know if that was a good guy or not.
Yeah.
And also Maxwell Lord in the comics. Spoiler for anyone who's listening is a very is a supervillain who at one time controlled the Justice League and we thought was like their backer.
He was their Charlie. Backer. He was their Charlie, their angels.
Yeah, and then we realized he had mind control powers, and we're like, "Fuck that noise!
Fuck that noise!
That's not nice. Why would you fuck the noise? That's gross."
But yeah, Supergirl's okay.
All right,
not really much else to say about that show.
That sounds about how I feel about S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. is a big dose of
I mean, we didn't get any new episodes of S.H.I.E.L.D., Flash, or Arrow this weekend, so I don't really think there's much to talk about.
No, definitely not. But they'll all be kind of wrapping up real soon. Their mid-season points as well.
One more episode left for each, I think.
Yeah, I think that holds right. S.H.I.E.L.D., meh, it took a nice turn with the high-profile actor becoming a big bad guy, but other than that, I'm still waiting for it kind of to do something great. Flash and Arrow have something great coming up. This big double shot crossover doohickey thing.
Heroes join forces.
Holy shit, Ed. Fucking let somebody know you're going to do that. Holy fuck. You scared all the kids.
Sorry.
That was actually pretty good.
No, it's actually pretty good. But you should actually just,
warn us next time.
Hand up or something.
Yeah.
Like, hey, everybody
just
back
wave,
off.
Just wave your paper.
Just warn
wave your paper.
Turn down the volume on everybody's headphones.
But actually, while we're talking about that, before we go any further,
okay.
I have a question for a friend Ed here.
Okay.
Ed.
Since he's such a DC Comics buff, which of the 5 villains would you love to see join the Flash this season?
Ooh.
Big Sir. Yes, that is the name of a character. Turtle Man. Yes, that is the name of a character. The Top.
Yes.
Tar Pit.
Yes, these are names.
And Mopey. Which
oh
of those
my
5?
God.
I think I would say I think the one that has the best story potential is probably Tar Pit.
Okay, that's actually the only one that I know of.
Yeah. I can't believe that these are real character names.
And but I was saying before we started recording, and I will repeat it here. I would love to see an episode begin, a la the Lethal Weapon sequels with the Flash beating the Top.
Right.
I don't want to see a whole episode on him. Just like it opens, he shows up at a bank, stops the Top from doing what he does, and then we move on.
Now I got another question. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bill.
Just the Top. Is he like a top, like a spinning top?
Like a spinning top, yes.
Is he a physical spinning top, or is he a human?
He's a human.
He's like a human
who
dreidel?
Can move like a physical spinning top, and he bounces
around.
That's
doable. That's doable. I thought we were actually going to see a spinning top.
That's a very 70s superhero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's definitely the era. The late 60s, early 70s is where he came from.
Oh yeah, that's got Silver and Bronze Age written all over it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Tar Pit, what's his deal? Is he like Tar?
Yes.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yes. These are very these heroes.
I know him from the season 0.
And what about
Flash
Whoopi?
comics.
What was it?
I was asking about, what was the last one? Whoopi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was actually my next question. Who is Mopey? And do you know anything about him?
I've never heard of that character.
Oh, that's Eeyore, right? Eeyore puts on a cape.
I mean, yeah, that's probably...
So then if you don't really know, you can't really say it.
No,
because
I
he
can't.
could be the most amazing.
Yeah.
He could be.
El Señor Mopi. You know, he could come into town and do something crazy.
He could. But I would think that if...
Woe is me.
Wiki it.
well, my computer just died. But
oh my God, how convenient.
I would think that if he was worth a damn, Ed would know.
That's fair
who he
enough.
was.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Very
and
fair.
I have not read as much Flash comics as
Well,
I
what
could
the
have.
fuck did we bring you here
So
for?
yeah,
All right, fair enough. So I guess after that, I mean, we could talk about Jessica Jones a little bit.
I think just quickly just go around the table and say
I
how
didn't
many
ask you-
how many episodes
I did not
we've
ask you
watched.
what you fucking thought,
Right.
and I will fucking steer. Now I think what we'll do is we'll go around the table and let everybody talk a little bit.
Starting with Bob.
All right, I've only watched 7.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to catch the next 3 tonight. Hopefully finish up over the weekend. God
Yeah.
knows how many hours I'll have this
Well, I
week
think,
to work.
just
But-
to cover that, because you brought it up, you know, the plan is basically we'll see if we're all caught up by next week. And then if that's the case, or the next time the four of us
Right.
together, depending, you know, maybe we'll just do a solid breakdown of that a little bit more.
I think so far I'm liking the show. We're just waiting for that big moment, which I'm understanding is going to come around episode 9.
Yes, it will.
It's
Little
episode
birdie,
9,
little
bro.
According
birdie,
to my Twitter feed,
It's episode 9, bro.
well, according to your Twitter feed.
Ed,
according
what'd
to-
you think?
I've watched the full boat, all 13.
All right.
I'm pleased. I will reserve my comments for a later podcast.
Did-
I actually have a question, though. I'm sorry, Bill.
No, go ahead.
but better or worse than Daredevil? Yes or no question?
If you have
No
to
ifs,
say,
ands, or buts.
if
Sorry.
you have to pick a yes or no,
Sorry.
if I have to pick a yes or no,
you pick one or the
it's
other.
very close. But I'm gonna say in the end, no. I think Daredevil finished stronger.
okay.
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 I
fair enough.
would, you know, not to be, you know, presumptuous, but I would probably agree with that.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
obviously they're two different animals enough, but if you had to stack them,
I'm up to episode 11, I think.
right. Sounds about
Really, you know, I'm really liking it. Episode 9 was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It gets to like probably if you haven't watched any of it yet, I know that it kind of starts off a little dry and slow.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt about it. I know a lot of people like watch the first episode and were either like, this fucking sucks, I'm done with it, or wow,
Yeah.
this is amazing, I'm so jazzed up.
Right.
But I stuck with it. Thought it was okay, but then I feel like something happened in episode 4 or 5 that really made the show become a great show, and I think once it gets past that, it's
Episode
really,
9
really
is
good.
when it's going, and then episode 5 is when it gets going, and
Yeah.
episode 9 is when it that's
Takes
like
off.
boom.
Yeah.
Okay, here
Yeah.
we go.
It's a very similar thing to what happened with Daredevil in that, like, episode 4 or 5 ends up being like you spend the first few episodes kind of getting used to the world and getting to know our main character, not as much of the villain, but the villain is mentioned and sprinkled throughout to a degree, and then you get that full introduction by by episode 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then it's a little bit of an arc and a crest and a wave, and then around the 9, 10, 11 kind of, because I think that's what happened with Daredevil too.
Yeah.
The whole thing takes another shift, kind of, and then you're into the back leg of the story.
Yeah.
But fucking really solid. I feel like there are things obviously that don't work, that sometimes are clunky. The things that I do enjoy the most sometimes are
And how many episodes have you watched?
I've watched 107. Wrong show?
No, I was saying 7, 13, 11.
Yeah. No, I'm up to. I think 11's my next one,
Okay.
so I'm on 10.
yeah, same actually. I haven't watched 11 yet.
So my point being, like, I don't want to sit here and go through like a bunch of. I don't have any bullet points or anything off the top of my head that's like a specific thing. I mean, maybe we'll do that next time. But really great. I love the smaller things that they do, especially as much as I love the cooler shit or the funnier stuff. The smaller things they do. Like,
The realistic aspects.
when you hear like the radio, like, in the background, not just Trish and stuff, but when you hear like the radio in the background and people are talking, it's probably actually Trish's show we're catching now that I think about it. But in the earlier episodes, you hear some background stuff and it's like, them talking about the Registration Act or whatever. It's like, that's how they're, these littler things are the things that are tying it all together in the
Right.
big MCU picture.
Right.
What about you, champ? How you feeling generally? Did we start with you?
I started with Bob.
Oh, so fuck you then.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing you twice.
So unless Dom, did you go?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
All right, so then we're done.
All right, we're fucking done.
Moving on.
Moving
I
on.
think that's probably
I don't
about
think
it.
I think
Really.
we're moving on out the door. Is what
All
we're
right.
moving on to. I mean, we could just. I put Creed on here because I just want to talk about Creed for a second. Not that any of us saw it,
What do you
right?
want to know?
No.
I actually have seen it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, before you
Does it
say
have the
anything.
Rocky moments? You get up and go, yo, yeah.
Okay.
Any good? Ed?
So here's what I was going to say. Is it's been built up a little bit. That it's turned out to be really good.
I'm going to give the standard movie. Well, it's a Rocky for this generation.
Did it make you put
That's what I'm hearing.
It
though.
was a Turkey Day release, so did it make you put down your turkey? Or did you just keep on eating?
This is the rock and roll. Instead of listening to rock and roll, this is the hip hop. That's the thing. And he uses a smartphone. And
I got you. It's for the 2000s.
Yeah.
Right. Well, actually, one of the things I did here that seemed pretty nice was that it was like, since Rocky won, this has probably been the most like keeping with the original spirit and kind of the feel. Not that Rocky 2 completely loses it, but
the cool thing is, it's a complete. Rocky is a supporting character in the story.
Right.
It's really about Adonis Creed, or Donnie as he's called. It's his story, and it's a struggle for him trying to find his identity, trying to establish his identity
in the shadow of his father and legacy, and also just himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
I got to go see it.
Does he get the eye of the tiger or what?
Oh yeah.
I heard he fucks a tiger. Maybe I'm watching the wrong movie. I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah.
So, kids, that's going to really wrap us up. I mean, I don't have anything else, and we're already at about a decent amount of time. You know what I mean? I mean, how much time can we expect people to listen to us talk about what we like?
I stopped listening 20 minutes ago.
I had a feeling, bro, because you said something before, and I was like, this guy ain't listening. So, kids, if you do want to tell us what you like or you want to say something to us at all, you can email us. I failed to give out the email earlier, Dominic.
Yeah, and you also failed to shout out our other podcast, which is
God.
Preacher versus Preacher.
Well, but that's a good time right now to do it at the end, right? All right, then.
What is the email address?
The email address is podcast@wickedtheory.com because it's a podcast, and we're at wickedtheory.com. So you can also check out Preacher vs. Preacher. That's on the Tubernators and the web locators and the iTunes. That's just one episode, kid. We're going to do more, but you can check that out. You can find all of us now, all of us now on the Twitter sphere. Dom, you can find Dom on Twitter at DOM_.
Yes.
Thank you. Not that I needed the help, but okay. Sometimes I do need help.
Well, that's because Bob's on Twitter now, too.
I know. He's just eager. He wants to drop his bomb.
Yeah.
No. I know. I'm just making fun. So, Dom, we mentioned you. Ed.
At Edward O'Hare TBD.
And then Bob on Twitter at...
BobWTPC.
At BobWTPC for the Wicked Theory podcast. And then you can find me at Wicked Theory on there. Yeah, I'm on there, too. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save it.
Should I...
Thanks so much for having me on again.
Oh, go fuck yourself, Ed. It's all about you, Hey, Ed. Thanks for coming on the show again.
Sure.
Maybe. Kids, that's going to wrap it up. I'm kind of fiddling here with my papers. I don't want to go.
Kind of hungry.
You hungry? You want to get something to eat?
I'm going to, yeah.
Oh, you're going to leave and then get something to eat?
Yeah.
You're not going to stay in the neighborhood?
Nah.
You want to walk to a bar, get a couple brewskis? I don't know.
You don't want to, maybe walk to the deli, get a couple of brewskis? The roast beef with the hot pastrami. Yeah, I never had
All I know is I got a home cooked meal at home.
Oh, that's
by my
right.
mama.
He's like,
My mama.
I got manna goods at the house. Well, something. Probably not even.
Mommy's meatballs.
Ravioli.
All right, speaking of raviolis, let's ravioli this up. Kids, we'll see you next week. Bob, take us out of here. It's all right. Hey, Bob, take us out of here.
Yeah.
Boy, I was scared there for a minute. I love a happy ending. That worked out pretty good.